out here over at Verona Mesa. Gonna film Giant's hand, Chief Ramona. That's Gargantuan's hand, Chief Ramona, if you haven't seen my other videos yet. So, I'm gonna go over why I think this is a giant's hand. The more I look at it, I know that this is a giant's hand. So, I'm gonna back out a little bit here. See my hand right there? Now, if you squeeze it, you see how it peaks up in the middle right there? Squeeze it real tight and it peaks up in the middle. That's the middle finger right there. His hand is lying like this, and he's got an extra finger. He's 6 fingers. His hand's lying like this. So it peaked up in the middle right there, and then when you also do that, it peaks up right here. That's his pointer finger right there. So it's his left hand, just like that. That right there is this muscle right here. My muscle's all good and swollen right now. I got carpal tunnel, so you can see it. That right there is his the bottom of his palm, where his pinky finger is. That muscle, right there. That's that part right there. And then this ridge right here is that ridge right there. Okay, so that's Chief Ramona, Gargantuan's hand. And when you actually look at this, you can see all that right there is skin. This is all skin. So his hand peaked up in the middle. That's the pointer finger. He's got 2 fingers right there, middle finger. He's got another finger right there, pinky. So he's actually got 4 fingers on his ridge right there. So his ridge right there, where his pinky finger is really big. That's why it peaks up so much. This guy is 28 miles high, or long, because he's lying down. There's a guy over here. This is Ramona Speedway. That's where I'm at. There's a guy over here. This is where they race cars and stuff. It's pretty cool. There's a guy over here, getting the gate open and stuff for the weekend. That's when they do everything. Alright, so there we go. Gargantuan's hand. When I look at this, every time I look at it, I am just amazed. Because that's exactly what it is. It's his hand. And those mountains right there, right over here, that's his pinky finger right there, and then his thumb is right there. So right there is his at the bottom of your palm, where your wrist is at, where your thumb's at. That's that cheek right there, and then that's the cheek right there. When you look at the Google Earth view of this, you'll actually see the lines in the hand. When you do palm readings and stuff, you'll see all of that in his hand, which is pretty cool. And the reason why I call it Chief Ramona is because my uncle used to look at that mountain, and the cheek right there, it looks like a Indian lying down, and that's his stomach right there. And then his neck's right here, and then his head is right here, and then his feathered hat goes down like that, and then his legs go out like that, which it really does look like that, but unfortunately that's most likely pareigolia. And what pareigolia is, when you see things in nature that remind you of faces and stuff like this. The hand, on the other hand, it's uncanny. You just can't deny it. And when you look at my entire giant, you definitely can't deny it. And then when you listen to my story, you definitely can't deny it, because there's an entire story to the entire giant, which is 5 elms long. 1 elm is 2.5 miles. So if you multiply 2.5 miles, it's roughly around 28 miles. And what happened is the Great Flood came from the west. Which is this way. That's west. and his head's actually right over there. And actually, that's probably part of it too. He's so big, his whole body is just a bunch of mountains. But the hand, on the other hand, looks like a hand. It looks just like a hand. I'm gonna get another take on me, because last time I looked a little bit like a Sasquatch. Yeah. Giant stand. Chief Ramona. Gotta believe it. Gotta get with the times, man. Because this is what it is. We're finding out that these giants are everywhere, and they're a lot bigger than we could even imagine. Roger from Mudfossil University, has a 900-mile long dragon that's out in Morocco. I mean, it's huge, and the fish that it's eating is like 800 miles long. It's crazy, and it's definitely a dragon. You can't deny it. It's definitely a fish. You definitely can't deny it. It's spewing out acid, like a fiery acid, because that's how dragons kill things, right? I mean, that's how they were always depicted. So now we gotta look back throughout history. History is gonna be rewritten anyways, because it's all a lie. Everything they ever taught us was a lie to protect a 5,000-year-old agenda to take over the world, which is crazy. I guess they figured, well, if we can't do it, we'll just keep trying, and they're always going to keep trying, unfortunately. It's in their DNA. That's what happens when you have sex with your sister. And anyways, I digress. So yeah, the more I look at this, the more I realize I'm just like, man, that is so cool. Because you could actually see the skin and everything. Like, that right there is prominent. You can see the skin and the line where the fingers are at. And right in there is the palm and all the palm lines, and then you got the cheek. And when you look at the Google Earth view, it's uncanny. You look at it and you're like, oh, wow. I've shown other people this, my friends, one friend actually, that I have out here. I don't really hang out with much of my friends anymore in my hometown. They're all off doing their own thing. They got kids and stuff, so it's all good. But even he kind of he kind of got it, but at the same time, you could tell he didn't. But it's cool. I got a brother who's just he's all for it every once in a while, but then again, he still can't wrap his brain around the fact that there were giants, and most of the fossils he has is blood and joints and ligaments and stuff like that. So I don't ever push this stuff on anybody. I mean, it's a new idea, but it's 100% real. Everything on Earth is 100% biological, and that's just the way it is. Don't fight it. Life sucks when you fight it. Just don't fight it. You gotta give in. You gotta give into it. It's a lot easier that way. One day this is gonna be mainstream anyways, and you're gonna be like, well, they were right. Might as well just get on board now. Because the way things go, hopefully Trump will win, and we're not gonna have to battle this one out. But I'm praying to God that he does. But that's all politics. I'm not gonna get into that. Let's just hope Biden doesn't get in office, because then things are gonna get pretty crazy. They might still even get crazy, but not as much as if Trump gets in office. Anyways, that's Gargantuan's hand. I'm gonna do another segment, make this a long video, and I'm gonna get online and trace out the giant. I found out my iPad has a cursor on it, so I could use the cursor like on a mouse and trace it out. So I'm going to do that. So that's Chief Ramona. All you have to do is Google Earth Ramona, look for the country estates, and it is on the west north side of the country estates. Chief Ramona, everybody.